What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in again. Today, let's talk about 2020, a review in technology. We're gonna break down a little bit of what happened in this year in regards to technology, some of the innovative breakthroughs that came through it, and just a little bit of a high view of what it is and its applicable uses. So let's get into it. So the first thing at hand is the infamous COVID towers, right? 5G is probably one of the biggest names that you probably heard in 2020. I know everybody's sick of hearing about weird conspiracy theories about it, right? But 5G has some very applicable uses that are understandable. A little bit of brief of what 5G is. It's the newest technology or the newer standard of technology when it comes to cell towers, right? Its uses are to help us with phones, right? So to help us talk to people via broadband. However, the newer technologies are a little bit more efficient and they travel more data within its wavelength. It's a little hard to explain at a higher level, but essentially think of a software update or a phone provider. How about that? Think of a software update for a cell tower or the technology behind the cell tower. Its uses are very vast, right? Some of the things that can come from it are thinking about doing is truckers. Truckering is a very manual, hands-on experience, and they're thinking of automating that and using different IoT devices to potentially have autonomous vehicles. Doctors that are all the way across the other country able to connect and do their medical procedures wirelessly. And it sounds scary, but its uses are very, very beneficial. There's a lot of things that come with having faster responsive technology, and the best thing about using 5G is its uses within a myriad of environments, right? Medical, technology, government. We're seeing a lot that come from it. And it's not to scare anyone. It's not dangerous. Frequencies are not going to kill you. I've heard some of the crazy conspiracy theories, so I can assure you that they're false. The new iPhone is using 5G, and a bunch of Android phones are using 5G now. A lot more responsive, faster internet. It's using fiber optic, up-to-date hardware behind the scenes. It's really just overall more and more efficient than 4G, which was the big hit 10 years ago. So it's interesting to see how we used to have clear internet, and now that's being replaced by 5G, which is 10 times faster. So while we're on the topic of internet and broadband and phones, let's talk about the iPhone. The iPhone is the recent new update, is the iPhone 12 and its product line, and that came out this year. And the big hoo-hoo about it was it brought out 5G with its devices, as well as faster charge for its devices. It also comes out with a bunch of other hoo-has and stuff we don't need to get to, but essentially, yeah, the iPhone came out. Flippable devices also came out as well. So if you think about foldables, you have the Motorola, you have the Samsung that came out with a flip phone and a flip tablet. Very, very interesting. Those are really cool devices that fold the LCD screen to give you multiple screens on the back and the front, and really it just looks good. Think of Westworld, if you will, like, just opening up a tablet to control us humans. Another update, Apple brought out its chipset called M1. Essentially what that is think of when you have the AMD product line, Intel product line, Apple brought its own chipset product line, which essentially changes the dynamic when it comes to computing. Companies and providers use Intel or AMD to install their chipset within computers. However, Apple's product line only uses M1 now. So it's interesting to see how they've shifted from its use within AMD or Intel to now using its own. It's very, very good. The differences from that is more or less in depth into its engineering, its efficiency, and its compute speed. But yeah, it's been a lot greater remarks. From what I'm seeing, it charges a lot more efficiently, and it goes with its product line. So yeah, it's good to see that. Now, I know you've heard of it, COVID-19, coronavirus, the newest recent coronavirus outbreak, social distancing, This has been a crazy year, but essentially let's talk about some of the goods that came from it. Let's talk about technology that has evolved within 2020 as a whole. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is video conferencing apps. Zoom, Slack, Teams, Skype. It's so funny. A colleague told me Skype was already there, but Zoom, Teams somehow evolved and just been the prime communicator for talking to people. And it's true. These conferencing apps were pretty lacking before. There's use cases that wasn't really fulfilled, and overall there was some things lacking in it. And all of a sudden, new features, new cool ideas and whatnot just started evolving within them. So it's really cool to see how things have changed within communicating over the internet and working from a distance. Zoom has one of the most top used ones. Its uses have been not only in business and personal use, but also government. Officials are talking to each other via Zoom. News anchors are using it to communicate on live TV. You get the daily or weekly updates of COVID from city officials. So it's really cool to see how things have changed within communication over those conferencing apps. Same for Teams. Teams is a big suite of Microsoft Office products that more or less integrate with it, and really is a nice streamlined product that allows you to communicate and work virtually. And then there's Skype. Next bit of tech to come out this year for COVID, tech to fight other diseases. So when you think of COVID-19, it's a coronavirus. However, it's not the first coronavirus that hit. You know, we had Spanish flu, we have the regular flu, we have other different types of coronaviruses and any other viruses, right? Some of the technologies for COVID that have came out have been really awesome. You know, we have devices where you scan your forehead and you get your temperature reading, and also you shoot your hand out and you get your temperature read, as well as hand sanitizer and other applicable uses like drones that carry around UV light, you know, scan corona or they eliminate different bacteria. Everyone overall are becoming a much cleaner society. Another technology that relates to fighting a disease is contact tracing apps. A bunch of apps on the market. One, Citizen, that provides if you're in the range of someone who has publicly tested positive for COVID-19, you essentially get alert, or you're around someone that could potentially have it. There's some quirks with things like that. Until we get a handle on things right now, it's good to have different applications like that that can assist us during these times. Another thing that's going on, it's not necessarily a technology, but more or less an umbrella. We're seeing a lot more within automation and the removal of manual conventions, right? So when you think of automated solutions, you think more of how can I not do this and it get done for me automatically, right? How can I stay away from something and it's already done? There's a bunch of proactive uses for this, not only in fintech, normal business, but overall just like communicative uses, right? So a lot of officials are now coming out with these data points, and these companies are going more for automatic solutions that help remove manual entry. So for example, think of the recent volumes of call-ins for support. There's more solutions out there that are more automated that help alleviate some of those support calls, and the processes have changed. Next one to come out is really interesting because governments are actually implementing this on a citywide scale. Big data solutions and predictive analysis. So the numbers, they're going up, they're going down. How do they know this stuff, right? They're data scientists, they're scientists, a lot of people who know numbers and maths that really contribute to understanding the cases, knowing how they work, how well they're going, how not well they're going. There's someone behind the scenes that are calculating these forms, and they're providing crunches of data that are either predictive or more or less just an understanding of the insights, like where are they getting this, where are they going, how are they getting it, who is affected. There's a lot that go into that, and we've seen things like this done in businesses, big businesses, fintech firms, but it's interesting to see that being done citywide. City of Chicago have a team of data scientists that essentially crunch numbers all day for COVID tests, and they calculate to see if areas are growing or areas are subsiding. Very interesting stuff. I would like to see more of. Lastly, contactless transaction. You going up to a kiosk and paying for your purchase. If you have your phone and you don't want to get your credit card out, you just use your phone, and it just pays for it. We're seeing a lot of companies adopt this technology, not only being able to accept wireless communication via NFC in the store, but also online. Apple also brought out a credit card that allows for you to just use it straight through the credit card or through your Apple Pay. It's really cool to see these technologies evolve because we're moving away from that piece of paper and moving on to a more sustainable environment solution. And the technology is really good too because it eliminates you from lugging around your wallet, which will suscept you to other dangers like someone taking it. So yeah, there's goods and bads to it too as well. So you also run into the notion that someone can take your information as well, just by having a reader itself and gathering that information and credit card info. So there's different little nuances that we can go into a different video in detail about. So yeah, so that's a rap sheet of COVID-19 tech. If you guys like what you've heard, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. We are also coming out with a new Clubhouse club, so be on the lookout for information on that, where we talk more about technologies, problems, business solutions, and just more or less a fun, in-depth topic of conversation. So yeah, I hope to see you guys soon. Stay safe and take care. There's a light right there. What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning into this channel. Thank you for soon.